Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Thank you guys again for all the support on my channel. It feels like every time I look back at this channel, the subscriber count just grows and it keeps on growing and growing. Thank you guys so much again. But yeah, I'm actually finally finished with my finals. I think I did alright on them. I know for a fact that all my CS classes I did really good on those, but when it comes to the other random classes I'm forced to take, such as like bio and those classes, I'm not so sure. Anyways, I do also want to mention one other thing is I am working on a Discord server. I know a lot of people have been asking for that. I am working on that, and that should be releasing pretty soon. Maybe by the next video I should have that announced. But anyways, guys, let's get right into today's video. So in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys about patching programs. So to break it down, patching involves making changes to programs' code to either fix bugs or enhance functionality. Patches can also be used to bypass security measures such as anti-debugging. It can also be used to gain full access to specific softwares or even allow game hackers to create cheats. For developers, it's about maintaining the integrity and security of their software, while on the other hand, for hackers, it's just about finding and exploiting weaknesses in that same code. So let's take an example here. So let's consider there's a popular video game, and this video game has a vulnerability that allows players to not take damages. Maybe it's a bug or something, who knows. But game developers will basically investigate this bug, and then they will create a patch and release this patch that will fix this loophole. While on the other hand, you will have game hackers that will then analyze the new updated code and discover new vulnerabilities and create new ways to exploit the game again. With that being said, let's get right into the program we'll be patching today. Alright guys, so the program we'll be patching today is the exact same program I used last time in the last video. I don't know if you guys watched that, but I do recommend you guys watching that. I showed you guys how to bypass the anti-debugger check that was in there, but in this video I'm going to show you guys how to patch this program so you don't have to manually bypass the debugger. So you'll be able to patch the program and just debug it from there. I'll actually show you guys how to use both GHIDRA and GHIDRA to patch this program. So there's a quick refresher on this program. Let me run this program here. So this program asks us to enter a password, and I actually went through there in the last video and figured out that the password was easy. There you go, good password. But based on the last video, we saw that we were not able to run this in a debugger safely without making some changes to the code. But this time I show you guys how to do that and create a separate patched program. So that way we're able to run the program in a debugger without making additional changes. You know what, let me show you the IDA method first. I think it'll help understand why we do something in the GHIDRA. So let me type in IDA, and that will type in week 14 bin here. Press OK. Alright. OK again, find the main function. And give it a second. Okay, so in IDA, if you watched the last video, you saw that we had to change this command here. It was a JNS, and this was actually going and jumping down to the end here where it would skip this once we run the program in the debugger. So let me just show you guys that one more time real fast. So if I hit that and I run the program, press on yes, press OK. We're here. If I run the program, make sure you guys here. I'm right here right now. If I run the program, it'll tell me debugger detected right here. So I actually had to go up to here, edit, hit patch program, assemble, and I had to change this to a JMP. I'm gonna press on OK, and I press on cancel. So this would be changed to a JMP. And now in order to save this patched program, before I do that, let me go ahead and create a backup of this. So we should have this one here and this one. So I'm gonna create a backup manually there. I mean, it does create a backup, but it's just I like to manually do it. So once we do that, I'm actually gonna go back to the patch program, but I'm gonna press on apply patches to input file. IDA does have this button where you check it and it will create a backup, and it calls it .bin.back. but it won't patch the original file itself. It wants this input file to patch, so we will have to patch the original file. That's why there's this backup. So I'm press on OK, and it will say, yeah, press on yes if that shows up. And at the bottom, we actually see here applied 1 of 1 patches, because I only made 1 patch here. So I'm actually gonna close out of this program. I'll press on don't save. Here's the new file. So you won't see anything different here, but if I were to reopen this file in IDA, let's actually do that. I want you to pay attention to see if there's any new changes. So let's press here, wait for it to load up, and press OK, and double click into this main function, and you can already see it right there. This command is now strictly a jump, and now it just jumps right here. So if I were to set a breakpoint here and run the program, press yes, press OK, and I go back to the program, I will set another breakpoint down here. I'll run the program. Should ask me for a password. I'll put in easy. I'll press on enter, and I'll run the program again, and there it is, good password. So now the program is basically patched. The checking for the debugger is no longer there. Now I'm sure you guys had to do the same exact thing inside of GHIDRA. And with GHIDRA, it's a little bit different. So we're actually gonna have to use this file right there. Let me launch this up. So I'm going to file and then press on import file, and I'm going to use my backup that I created earlier. Press on OK right here, and give it a minute. Press on OK, and I'm double click into here. I'm press on yes, press on analyze, and now give this a second or a minute. I don't know, depends on how long it takes. It depends on the program. Alright guys, so it looks like it's finally done. I don't know, it took like 2 years. So I'm gonna go down to the functions, and you can look through here if you want to find your main function. But for me, I'm just gonna go down to define strings. In order to define strings, I'm gonna show you guys real quick. Is you go to window and you press on define strings, and I'm actually just gonna search. So remember the program, if you remember, it asks for a password. So all I'm gonna do is search for password right here for define string, and I see password, and I'm able to find the main function right here. Main, it's cross reference there in main, and I found it. And right away we see our .ptrace call again up here, and we see the if, and then we also see right here again the JNS, the JNS to this function. And just like IDA, we are able to patch this instruction. So all we have to do here is right click, patch instruction, or press Ctrl+Shift+G, press on OK when this pops up, and then wait for it to assemble here. Now it's gonna allow you to type in an instruction, and I'm gonna put the same JMP command and press on enter, and boom. Nice thing about GHIDRA is that it has this decompiled code view. As you guys can see, that if statement that was there, that was checking for a debugger, is no longer there. We still see this call ptrace function, but that doesn't do anything because it just calls it, but there's nothing else after that. Now all it will do is run the rest of this. Now we're gonna go ahead and hit file, export program, and you want to change this format to an ELF. Now this format is based on what type of file you have. So remember, this file was a, if you watched the last video you would know, but if you didn't, I'll show you guys. This was a Linux ELF 32-bit file. So you want to change the format to that, and as you can see the output file, you actually want to change this. Otherwise it will save to the original. So with GHIDRA, it allows you to actually keep the old one, but then have a new one for the patched one. So I'm actually going to call this patched week 14. So this is going to be called patched week 14. I press on my desktop, yep, select output, and I'm going to press on OK. And this will pop up, press on OK again, and it should be patched. Let's go ahead and go back to our terminal here. I'm going to ls, and we see It's right here, patch340.bin. Now we don't have permission on this file yet, so we're gonna have to chmod that. I'm just gonna chmod 777 it. Press on enter. Just make sure. Yep, we have full perms for this file now, and you can run the file. It won't actually do anything. It'll run normally. It should run normally. Yep, but let's say I wanted to open this one in IDA. Instead of that one. One of the things I would recommend is that you open it up, you open the file in GHIDRA, you analyze it. If you need to patch it, you patch it inside of GHIDRA, and then you take it into IDA if you need to figure out the password. Like here, inside of GHIDRA, I don't think I would be able to figure out the password in here. Maybe I could actually, not sure, but I found it easier to open it up in IDA since it has the debugger. So press OK, and give it a second, let it analyze. OK, and go back to main, and it looks the exact same as the last one. As you can see, this changed to a jump, and it looks the exact same as we patched it in here. And if you guys want to see how I figured out the password, I do recommend you guys going ahead and watching the last video I did. That will show you guys how I figured out the password to this program. I basically show you guys how to patch the program using both GHIDRA and IDA, and how the code will change based on that. Like I said, guys, I am going to be making a Discord server. I am currently working on that at the moment, and a lot of people have been asking for that. I will hopefully have that out by the next video, and I'll let you guys know. Once again, thank you guys all so much for this support. It really means a lot, and it gives me motivation to continue making these videos. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, do all the good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one.